Hey guys, in this video I'll be continuing with the Python video series. We'll be going over string testing methods. So string methods actually first, and then so we'll get into string testing methods. So in chapter, if you guys remember from a previous chapter, a method is a function that belongs to an object and performs some operations on that object. So it's kind of a hard concept to understand because we haven't done classes and objects yet. That'll be our last chapter. That's actually the last chapter in this book, besides some like graphic stuff which I won't be going over. We'll be doing some graphic stuff in C++, C# if you're interested. Mostly making some interface, graphical user interface stuff, similar to what we did in JavaFX if you've seen that series. But it's actually more powerful. So anyways, we'll get on to that later on. So actually pretty soon. So within the next month, you'll be seeing some of those C# tutorials if you're interested. Anyway, so basically, once again, just a method in a function. So a method is a function that belongs to an object. So basically, the method is just a normal function, but the function actually belongs to an object. Whereas other times, these functions that you create don't belong to objects, so it's a little hard to grasp right now. We'll go over it later on. So just kind of remember the definition if you can. So once again, a method is a function that belongs to an object and performs some operations on that object. So strings in Python have many methods. We'll discuss several string methods for performing different types of operations. We won't be covering all the string methods. If you're interested in all the methods, you can look on the Python docs. To be honest, the Python docs aren't very easy to follow. They're kind of all over the place, just from my experience of looking at the docs. So just try to look around. It's not as organized as other languages. For example, like the Java docs and like the Android docs as well. Either in Kotlin or Java, they're both really easy to follow, and also the XML docs in Android, they're easy to follow. These ones are pretty hard. Well, not hard, but it's not everything's not all together. It seems like it's all spread out. You could have one string page on the Python docs at one random place, and at another random place you'll have another string doc. Whereas in the other examples I mentioned, they have all the docs in one area, with like subgroups and groups and all that. Couldn't find that in Python. So just try, if not, W3 Schools is good, or Programmies. There are some good websites as well. Again, you can just Google the method or function if you're looking for information on it. One of the first 10 pages will be good. Usually W3 Schools will be like one of them, Geeks for Us or something. You just go to W3 Schools. That's the one my professors used to. So that one's pretty good. So you can find the Python documentation at www.python.org. So first we'll test the values of strings. We'll perform various modifications. We'll search for substrings and replace sequences of characters. Here's a general format of a string method call. So basically, I'll just do an example in the IDE. So in pycharm now on the screen I have, so basically just the general format is like string fair dot method, pass in parameters. So anything like that can be 3 parameters, 2 parameters, any random list of number of parameters like 10, 20, well not 10 or 20, but probably like maybe 5 at the max. Sometimes could be more, usually less, like maybe 1 to 3 parameters. Again, you can separate the parameters with commas. You don't need a space, so it can be like this, or it can be like that, doesn't matter. So just moving on. So in the general format, string. So a string var, or so a var is a variable, short for a variable that references a string. So a method is the name of the method that is being called, and arguments or parameters is one or more parameters being passed to the method. So let's look at some examples. So string testing methods. The string method shown, which I will show you, tests a string for specific characteristics. For example, the isDigit method checks if the returns true. So remember, in regards to strings. So if you think isDigit, we'll think, okay, well, in regards to a string, it is a string a digit, because we're talking about string methods once again, if you forgot. So basically string, so it's a string method, returns true. So the isDigit method returns true if the string contains only numeric digits, so only. Otherwise, I don't know if that's 100% correct. I feel like I will have to check. Actually, I think it might be. So basically, the difference is either the whole string is a digit or it contains a digit. I think maybe there's a variation between is and has, if there is a has. So we can just test it out here. So we'll just do an example. So we'll say str. Is that a built-in word? Keyword? So we'll just go with str1. Actually, I'm not sure if it is a built-in word in Python, keyword. It's showing me something when I do str. It's coming up with some kind of keywords. It's showing it is built-in, so we'll just go with str1. We'll say points to, we'll say like some large number. And then we'll say, well, so I guess in today's day that's not that large, so let's go with that. So we'll just have, so str1 points to some large number. Then we'll say if str1 dot isDigit. So if you're in pycharm, you type in is, you'll get a bunch of methods, most probably like string methods. Since we're calling the dot operator on a string, so we have is. So what we'll call an isDigit. So if str1 dot isDigit, then we'll need a if for that if statement. You can put these in parentheses as well. So if str1 dot isDigit, then we'll say we'll print str1, or we don't want str1 in quotes, so str1 is all, or contains all digits, basically numerical. So it contains all numerical digits. So they'll have else if it's not. Whoops, apologize. So else we have, we'll just copy this statement, code reuse, and then we'll have str1 doesn't contain all numerical digits. Save and run that. So it says this number contains all, or this string contains all numerical digits. Let's just put something like a p here. run it. So now we have this string doesn't contain all numerical digits, so therefore is digit checks the whole string to see if the whole string contains all digits. So it has to contain all digits for is digits to be true. It has to be all numerical. So let's see if we have has digit. No, is it not a built-in? No, not a built-in. Okay. I think there is another method for that. Let me see if I can pull that up on another screen. So one sec here. So let's just pretend you're following along. So I'm on Google. You can go to Google, type in Python docs string methods. Yeah, I should have done string methods. So if I look on the fourth one down, I have W3 schools Python string methods. Comes up right away. But if I go to docs, the first one for Python docs, it says common string operations. To common string operations, it does not say methods anywhere. Okay, it does say it says string methods. So I did find something. So just going back 2 seconds. So if I go back to Google, I'll keep that tab open. I'll go to another tab. You can't see it because I'm on a different screen. The Windows Recorder only gets one screen at a time, or one application. So I'll go just Python docs. Google that. So 3.11.1 docs, that's what it says. What's new in Python 3.11? Installing modules. That's not what I want. So this already, it's confusing. Okay, so where is the actual code stuff? Tutorial, I don't want a tutorial. I want maybe a language reference. So let's go with that, language reference. So this reference manual describes the syntax and core semantics of the language. It is terse but attempts to be exact and complete. But this is the Python language reference. The semantics of non-essential built-in object types and built-in functions and modules are described in the Python standard library, so I'll open that in another tab. So the Python standard library. So right now this is kind of like the kind of different some different basic keywords and stuff, how the language works, which we've obviously gone over a lot of stuff. Some of these keywords we haven't done yet, such as assert, pass. Del we've used, I think, or if we haven't used it, we're going to use it. Return we've used, yield, no, raise, probably exception wise. Break we haven't used, which we can use, or you've maybe seen it in other my languages. It's just to use to break loops. We'll probably use that pretty soon. Continue. So some of these we haven't used. Global we've used, import we've used. We'll probably be finishing the rest of them before the end of the series, so don't worry. Everything else we've pretty much gone over so far. So a couple keywords we haven't done. I'll save that for another video for the rest of the keywords, which if we're not done all of them by the end of the series, I'll just do an extra tutorial just explaining some of them. So anyways, back to, so that's like language basic stuff, like how the syntax works and all that. So what we want is standard library of built-in functions. So I'm going to click standard library. So I clicked on standard library. I'm gonna go built-in functions. So we have a bunch of built-in functions. There's actually not that many, to be honest. But you can check them out. It's interesting because there's not that many, and that's really all of them in the whole language, which is interesting. Again, I'll just save this. We've pretty much gone over these actually. Where did that page go? Okay, here we go. We have it here. This is not what I want. Again, so like I'm mentioning, this isn't what I want. So it's kind of a little bit hard to navigate. Not too bad. Kind of so. I'm looking for the string method still. So actually I haven't found them. Okay, so basically I googled so let's go back to Google again. We had it somewhere, so I'll go Python docs string methods. This video is going a little bit off topic, but that's okay. So we're going for string methods. So the first one comes up, common string operations. Not as simple, not as simple as what I'm looking for, because Python has string methods, and I haven't found them. So still haven't found that page. So now I found a little hyperlink in that page. I'm going to open it in a new tab. Now comes up with, so under built-in types, which is where we were at some point. That's what I mean. It's like in the middle of pages, for example, built-in types. So this string method is on a page called built-in types, which says the following sections describe the standard types that are built into the interpreter. The principal built-in types are numeric sequences, mappings, classes, instances, and exceptions. Some classes are immutable. So don't worry about classes, we'll be going over that later, so I'll just skip that for now. So anyways, you have to go down. So built-in types, like what's a type in Python? We've gone over that. Boolean, we have strings, floats, ints, that kind of stuff, like a type. So it's in the middle of this page. So again, so it is hard to find because you have to scroll down from this random page and just go down. So it's not that it's not the greatest. So now I can't even find it. I have to go back to Google. Let's go back to that page, click on string methods. So it's about, how many, one? So about a quarter way down. Maybe between a quarter and a third way down that built-in types page. Then it says finally string methods implement the common sequence operations. So common has a hyperlink. It has a tab. Okay, sequence operations, we've kind of gone over them, not in this exact terms, but we have gone over them. So strings also support two styles of string formatting. Okay, okay, so you can format stuff like C, apparently, using str format, format string syntax, custom string formatting, and the other based on C printf style formatting that handles a narrow range of types and is slightly harder to use correctly, but is often faster for the cases it can handle. Printf style string formatting. Okay, we haven't done that yet. If we will do it, I'm just opening that in another page here. If you guys are following along, you just have to Google Python docs. So you can print C style. It's not exactly the same thing. It looks kind of difficult, to be honest. You use the percent sign, but with like you actually have to type in number or something. It's kind of silly. To be honest, it doesn't even look like C at all. The only thing you see is the percent thing. So anyways, where did that page go now? Okay, so here we go, string methods. So the text processing services section of the standard library covers a number of other, okay, wait. That's not helpful, that's not explaining everything. Okay, so we finally have string methods. So the first one is string.capitalize. Returns a copy of the string with its first character capitalized and the rest lowercase. Okay, so here we go. Here's actual methods. So how many are there? Just trying to see how many there are. Quite a few. That about it? That's about it. There's about 50 of them, maybe more. I think maybe about 50 of them. A lot of them are relatively similar. So that's how you find the string docs, which was pretty hard to find, as I mentioned. You have to really look around for them. So yeah, so there you go. So I'll just save that for later. Don't think I'll probably be coming back to that page, unless I'm actually looking for something specific. So anyways, we'll just go back to the code. So we'll do some other string methods. This video is getting a bit long, and that's okay. So we have how many? 20 minutes now. Okay, so we'll just maybe do about a little bit more. So is al_num returns true if the string contains only alphabetic letters or digits and is at least one character in length. Returns false otherwise. So again, if you're looking for methods, you can go to that page. Is alpha is another one, returns true if the string contains only alphabetic letters and is at least one character in length, returns false otherwise. So there's a bunch there, like different things you can test. Is upper, is lower, test uppercase, test lowercase. So again, it's going to be hard to go over all of these. So basically, is digit returns true if the string contains only numeric characters. This book I got from Amazon Kindle, the Python book. But all this text is jumbled, so it's kind of starting to jumble some of the text. I think it's a glitch. Well, I'm reading on the Amazon Kindle reader for PC, so it should have made everything nicely laid out. This part of the book has text overlapping with each other, so there's some kind of glitch. But it does resize itself. So hopefully this is correct, but is digit is like overlapping with its text. The method name's actually at the bottom, which should be on top. So returns true if the string contains only numeric digits and is at least one character in length, returns false otherwise. So then we have is lower, returns true if all of the alphabetic letters in the string are lowercase and the string contains at least one alphabetic letter, returns false otherwise. So is space returns true if the string contains only white space characters and is at least one character in length, returns false otherwise. White space characters are spaces, new lines, or tabs. So is upper is the exact same as is lower, just opposite, uppercase, obviously. So we'll do an example with different string methods. And in the next video we'll go over, because this one's starting to get long, so we'll just do one example here. It'll take us a bit of time to do this one because there's a bunch of methods in it, so I'll clear all this stuff we have on the screen now. Hopefully you guys don't think my kind of explaining without anything on the screen, hopefully it was helpful at least. Most of the time I am typing, but sometimes professors just talk. Well, that's kind of what happened here. Okay, so we'll have a def main. So this program will demonstrate different string methods. We'll have a user string, or user str works fine. So user str points to input. We'll say enter a string. So we'll say print. This is, we'll just say actually information, or just info on the string, or info on the string. Just to sum up the Python docs, I'd say they're not impossible to use, but they're not the greatest docs. We'll just go with that summary. Once we finish classes and objects, which will be the last part of the book, or last part of the series, we'll kind of we'll go over the docs once again just to see if you guys understand everything. Because usually when you're done learning the language, then you should be able to look at the docs and be like, okay, I understand what's happening. But if you look at the docs before you learn the language, it's going to be very hard to look at the docs or understand. Sometimes there's these weird generic stuff, like Java has some very complicated generic types that are very, very advanced, especially if you're just starting. And sometimes when you look at the docs without learning the language first, or generic types, looking at the docs makes no sense at all, because it looks almost like it's a big calculus problem, like calculus 3 or something, integral calculus, like calculus 2 or calculus 3 stuff, or sometimes even beyond that. Just looks really hard to look at. But anyway, so here we'll just say, we'll start calling some string methods. So we'll have if user str dot is alphanumeric. So we'll say ALNUM, that's the method. It's gonna have parentheses on the end of it, like a normal function. Then we'll say print the string is alphanumeric. Oops, sorry, I just hit the mic by accident. Okay, so we'll have if user str dot is digit, and we'll say print the string is all digits, or contains all digits, whatever. So then here we'll have if user str dot is alpha. So if user str dot is alpha, then we'll print the string contains only alphabetic characters. So notice we had alphanum, AL num, and now we have is alpha, so that you'll know the difference is the one with num is asking for numbers, the one with just alpha is asking just for characters. Then we'll have if user str dot is space print the string contains only white space characters. So print the string contains only white space characters. So we'll have here if user str dot is lower, the string is all lowercase. Also, it'll print the string is all lowercase. So if user str dot is upper, we'll print that the string is all uppercase. I forgot some shift semicolons there. Okay, so we'll just run it now. Whoops, I forgot to call main. So we can test some of these. We don't have to test all of them. But if you're looking for something specific, so these are some how some of the methods work. So we'll just print that, enter a string, we'll say, okay, we'll just do some random. So the info on the string, so as you can see, it can contain, so it can get more than one method, so the string is alphanumeric, which means that contains, okay, so now we know the difference between is digit and is alphanumeric. So if I can just find that definition again. Returns true if the string contains only alphabetical letters or digits and is at least one character in length. That's a little, I don't think that's the best definition in the world, because it should be only alphabetical alphabetical letters or digits. Contains only, so that's saying both in that case. I don't think that definition is very good. Let me just Google that one. So is ALNUM Python W3 schools came up. So I think what it's really getting at is that the string contains numbers. That's what it means. So that's not a very good definition from the textbook, at least that I have. Let's go with what the definition says on the Python docs. So Python, I'm typing Python ALNUM. Let's go with Python docs ALNUM. I'll click on the string methods again. I'll hit Control F, ALNUM. So string str.is ALNUM returns true if all characters in the string are alphabetical or alphanumeric and there is at least one character. What does alphanumeric mean? Alphanumeric definition. Consisting of using both letters and numerals. Okay. Returns true if all characters in the string are alphanumeric. So that means contains letters and numbers. Okay, so let's just see what else we have. The string contains only alphabetical characters. The string is all lowercase. Okay. So let me look up the is alpha. So that means it's what's right underneath. And the docs returns true if all characters in the string are alphabetical or alphabetic, and there is at least one character. False otherwise. So that's a little tricky because we have if user str.isAlpha, then isAlNum. Oh, you know what? There was a mistake on that one. I forgot the parentheses. So I think isAlpha should just be only alphabet. Only like stuff in the alphabet. So let's go with that. Yeah, so that's correct. So alphanumeric means contains numbers and letters. So all lowercase, it's telling us. Enter a string. 1, 2, 3. String is alphanumeric. Is that still correct? Is ALNUM. Is alpha. Okay, looks all fine now. So let's just go with this again. 1, 2, 3. The string is alphanumeric. The string is all digits. So the definition on alphanumeric is so just a better definition. Alphanumeric characters are the numbers 0 to 9 and letters A to Z, both uppercase and lowercase. Okay, so I think alphanumeric can be either numbers or letters. It says in alphanumeric examples are the characters A, capital H, 0, 5, and K. These characters are. It's a little confusing. So the term alphanumeric means that the combination of uppercase and lowercase alphabets or letters and numbers. So right now we have only letters and it's saying that it's alphanumeric. Maybe perhaps it's because it's a string. It's a little confusing. Don't worry about it too much. I don't it's not like you'll be using this method day in and day out in coding. You can always create your own if you're looking for something specific. Because if I run that again and go ABC, is alphanumeric, is alpha, saying it contains only alphabetical characters. It looks like Python takes alphanumeric as letters, numbers, or both. It can be either way, and it's telling us that it's lowercase. So we'll just end it there. Kind of a long tutorial. So hopefully you guys understand. So these are basically the common string methods. I showed you guys how to access them. So in the next video we'll be continuing on with string methods. Thanks for watching, guys. If you guys liked the video, you can like the channel and subscribe. You can like the video and subscribe to the channel for more programming and investing videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.